different lives, and it's just became one of the most enjoyable things of the year that to look forward to and get ready for.
Beautiful. How many rides were you on?
3. Yeah, yeah. And I really enjoy being a sweep rider. That was always my favorite place to be at the end, take it easy, trying to encourage the people at the end and being there for them, and just being able to talk in a, completely open setting. It was my favorite position to be in.
And it's a hard job being a sweep rider. You've got to sometimes, you can't get ahead of the last person.
Yeah.
And you have to encourage them, particularly when they're lagging.
Well, yeah, I was always afraid of just getting lost, like to lose sight of the last rider.
Yeah.
But there was always the sweep car eventually.
Yeah.
Not to mention the sweep rider also gets less time than everybody else at the rest stops.
Yeah.
I can relate to that, Susan. I really like being a sweep rider too.
Yeah. We never got to ride together.
Yeah, I think that we never rode together, and apart for the physical challenge of being the lead, even compared to the other riders that go back and forth, to be a sweep rider, there are certain qualities of the kind of shape to be in the head, but I really like to be a sweep rider. It was really fun.
Mm-hmm. Hi, Howie.
Hey, everybody.
Hi, Howie. Hey, Howie.
Great. And Gonen, you just joined our conversation. Thanks so much. Do you want to introduce yourself? Who are you? Where are you joining us from? What Israel Rides were you part of?
Yes, I would be delighted. It's an honor. So right now I'm located in Gatineau, which is the Quebec side of the National Capital Region of Canada. Until recently,
I grew up in that area.
What?
I grew up in Ottawa.
Oh, cool.
I know the Gatineau well. That's where I used to ski.
Nice. Yeah, I started last year. It's pretty nice. It's a nice thing to do in the winter here.
Yeah.
A while. So until recently, I was a Hebrew teacher at the Ottawa Jewish Community School for a couple of years.
My school.
Nice. When did you go there?
Oh, in the 60s.
When it was like 500 students, and I heard it used to be huge. So we're part of.
I was in probably the first 5 or 6 classes when it first opened.
Oh, nice. And where in Ottawa were you?
I grew up in Alta Vista.
Yeah, there's still a big community there. A lot of Jewish people there. So yeah, and Ottawa is amazing. We really love this area. I think I graduated the Arva Institute in 2005, if I'm not wrong, and it was part of the master program. And then I went on with a PhD with one of my 2 advisors. I was fortunate enough to have Alon Tal as one of my 2 advisors, and then for 3-4 years I was working basically for the Arva Institute. With the Youth Environmental Education Peace Initiative, and all that time it was a pleasure to be a lead rider as well. And that was until 5-6 years ago. And a tip as a lead rider, don't mess with fear.
Never.
Gonen, do I remember correctly that you used to be a chess player?
Excuse me?
Do you play chess?
Yes, I love chess.
I think it was the last year that you were on the ride. You were playing with one of the other lead riders, and you invited me to play, and it had been a very long time since I played. So I said, not this year, but next year. And I have to tell you, every single year since then, as I'm preparing for the Israel ride, I go through this, oh my gosh, I better play a few games of chess just in case he's back. because I did say it.
So we need to close this loop. Let's play online.
We could try
I remember that. I remember that, and I remember that evening that we played, and I think it was either in Torah or the evening before, if I'm not wrong. And I would be delighted.
I would have to learn the moves again, but let's try and figure out a time to do it. It would be fun just to have the time together.
That would be very nice. You ride a lot, right, David?
I do a lot of charity rides, and all the rides I have to do in between so that I don't embarrass myself on the other ride. Yes.
I love that. We'll have an Israel Ride, a chess competition. Everyone can bring their sets and we'll play online.
If I had to guess, there's a lot of chess players.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not me.
Yeah, so then I'd love to turn back to Kfir, our ride captain. Kfir, do you want to share a little bit about your background, how you got involved with the Israel Ride? I hear there's a great story with that, about where the Israel Ride came from.
Yeah.
If you want to talk a little bit about that, we'd love to hear.
Yeah, I just feel like I know everybody here for so long, but I'm gonna share with you again. So anyway, I was studying in the Aravav in 2002 and 2003. And this year, Howie came with this idea of doing this Israel Ride. And it was a small group, because 2002, it was like the second Intifada. We were only like 15 people in the Institute. And then I just and I was biking. I was the only biker there among the students. And we just start to work on this idea of doing it from Jerusalem to Eilat, checking different routes. Howie and David probably remember Vered and Shirley. So we were driving around. They were driving the small car after me, and I was biking these routes. And ever since, I think the first year I remember really good. It was so special because it was something I don't know what was so special about it. It was such a small group, and we did everybody did everything together. They stopped in every rest stop or pit stop and ran away to bring stuff and everybody made lunch together, and we just worked together and made it happen. And then it was so successful, so that the next year we just doubled, I think, and ever since it's just been bigger and bigger. And I really believe that the Arava Institute is doing an amazing job here in Israel and bringing these kids together as students and living together and sharing this experience. For me, special after I had a terrible, crazy army service, and it changed my life. And that's it. In the last few years, I'm spending more and more time in the States, so I really see the place that you guys coming from, and it's amazing to see that you support this organization, and they makes me being more supportive than I am, just to take a bigger part of it and to keep on doing it with lots of patience.
Beautiful.
I would love to add to that as life goes on and we go on our career adventures and different places and different contexts and etc. It's really, really amazing to see how much the time that we spent at the Arava Institute was such a source of both huge learning and also a great way to close many circles as an Israeli.
Right.
And to open many relationships. And it's really, really is amazing. And each and every of the few people that I think that ended up studying at the Arava Institute, because, sometimes you meet someone and it's you got to hear about this place. There is this place and it's just for you. And I believe you have with riders that you meet probably, and you're you got to hear about this rider. So I know that each and every one of those people that I knew before had an amazing, amazing experience at the Arava. And it's beyond skills and abilities, the kind of wisdom that you get from learning at the Arava Institute and the tools that you get for life are absolutely amazing. It's really, really something to do.
It was very challenging the last semester when, and during the first lockdown, that the students couldn't be part of the kibbutz because we closed down the dining room and there was no place really to mix and meet each other. So it was really hard not to have that, that they were living in the campus and on the kibbutz, but we couldn't really have interactions together. It was really missing.
I just want to give, while we're all together, a special shout out and thank you to has been with this since day one on every single ride that we've done, has been kind of the backbone of so much that happens, has brought us an incredible group of lead riders, has led them. He was also a little kid when he started. He's an adult and a family man, and it's just thank you, Kfir, for everything you've done for the ride, and it's just been a pleasure also personally knowing you and watching with you and growing with you through this crazy life we've all had.
It's my pleasure. It's really my pleasure. First of all, you keep me in shape. I think, and also I really honored to work and to do that. It's really a big part of my life.
Great. And I'd love to open up the conversation to any of our riders and guests that are here joining us. If you have a question you want to ask of Susie, Gonen, or Kfir, or share a favorite memory you have with lead riders. I know there's always great memories of riding or not riding fast enough, and just how have the lead riders helped and supported you in your riding?
Well, as a Sofim rider who has ridden with Susie and enjoyed every moment in the slower lane, I think that about maybe 3 years ago, I was riding sort of in the front of the pack with, I don't know, there's 10 or 12 of us. And all of a sudden I was riding behind Kfir. And I thought, wow, I made it. I got to Kfir. That was like a highlight. And, as you're riding, and for me, I'm pushing myself really hard, and he's not working so hard, and that's okay. But it's the conversations even that we have as we're going along on our bikes. I only had the pleasure of riding with 2 out of the 3 who are here. It's just, it's really amazing just getting to know you as people. I know that last year when I had the opportunity to see Susie at the kibbutz, because she was not riding, it was
when you were speaking locally. And you remember it was like it was Chol Hamoed Pesach, I think, right? And you had come to Amsterdam, and your flight was late, and we said, "Don't worry, we'll pick you up." And you came with this huge wedge of cheese because you're going to bring it to your son, and then you ended up giving it to my son Daniel. But that was a special time to have you as a house guest. And I hope we can do it again.
Amazing. When are you coming? You can be a house guest here in Gatineau.
I can consider that too. Well, it's a whole lot easier from Boston to get to where you are than to get to Israel. So, although I have trouble at the border right now.
Yeah, this year either location would require a quarantine.
Yeah, stay at your house for 2 weeks. Yes.
It was amazing. It was so nice being in your house. And I remember I was at the attic.
You're on the 3rd floor, yeah. The
3rd floor. And the first night I woke up and I had a huge blood clunk that came out, probably from the flight, because I don't fly that much. And it was one of the first time, and I guess the pressure change or something, and I woke up in the middle of the night with that, I was so glad I'm at the 3rd floor. I'm not going to wake up anyone. It was so nice being in your house.
Our pleasure, always.
You may be located in North America, but the hospitality was Middle Eastern.
Yeah, some of the other former students who's passed through here, which are quite a number, gave me the same compliment, and I meant a great deal.
Thank you very much.
Hi, Brenda.
Hi, Brenda.
Hi, good to see everyone.
Hi, Brenda.
Well, I can add numerous ways that the lead writers supported that it's just the nature of our beast, and did not give us you know, a lot of grief over that, and just kind of kept their eye on the back of us as we flew by. David and I love the everybody who supports the ride. We look equally forward to seeing all those faces and smiles as we do our co-riders. And
I had never seen anything like it. Like all those kilometers riding on those heavy bikes.
Right.
Pretty insane.
Transportation.
That's great.
Favorite. A lot of fun. Everybody know, I've recommended that everybody at least try it. Borrow one. Try it. It's pretty good.
Great. And other favorite memories with lead writers? Yeah, Bill, go ahead.
Bill, I'm in Washington, D.C., which is not near Boston, which seems to be where everyone else is. You know, I did 4 rides in the spring. It was so hot. Every day was over 100. And I remember 4 people ended up in the hospital, 2 from dehydration and 2 from overhydration. They drank so much water without, I guess, electrolytes that they got sick from that. Anyway, that was hot. And I think after that, pretty soon they moved it. There was flooding up north somewhere, and they were afraid it might come south. So we hiked up some little hill near our Shabbos place why can't I think of the name? It's a Yes. So anyways, but the rides have been great. I look forward to, I wasn't going to be ready this year anyway, but hopefully next fall life will have returned to somewhat normal. I don't know why, but you can always be hopeful and get to do it again. It's just a wonderful experience, and it's nice to see some familiar faces. The truth is, if you all put your helmet on, I would, congregant comes through and says, really love the sermon, Rabbi. And the rabbi says, I don't really recognize you. And the guy thought, he said, well, I'm here all the time. And the rabbi said, oh, try this, close your eyes. And then he recognized him totally, because the guy was always asleep. So next time, everyone wear their helmet, and it'll be much more fun. Anyway, it's nice to see the faces and think about all the wonderful times, and hopefully more to come.
Agree.
Amen ve'amen.
Amen.
Great. And to turn it back to our guest lead writers, do any of you have favorite memories from different rides to share, or favorite interactions with any of our riders that stand out to you as those key moments of your Israel ride experiences?
I always enjoy the days when you rotate up to Coliseum. It's just great, and also just in general, everything that the ride leaders do to keep everything safe along the way. I mean, now we're coming into an urban area, and there's stoplights and traffic lights, and there's traffic, and people are eager to get to the swimming pool and to the beach, and yet we all get there safely, and that's because
during every ride they're amazing. They're just right there. Never seen anyone fix punctures that fast.
Right.
So nice, like putting all the bikes together, their patience and just so on top.
It's on Facebook and on YouTube now.
And YouTube.
Yeah. And David Barash, you look like you were jumping in from.
Yeah, I just wanted to jump in too and say I had fond memories riding with Matan and with
Matan.
Alma. Matan and Alma. They're terrific. We rode in 2017 and 2019, and Matan, I know sometimes there were the lead riders and the sweep riders. Sometimes Matan, he was in some of our groups. He was kind of in the middle,
Gael, Matan and Alma are joining us on our Wednesday lunch with the lead riders, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay.
As well as Neria and Roy. Yeah.
Oh, great. So on Wednesday? Wonderful.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Great. Are there other questions anyone wants to ask our lead riders, or our lead riders want to ask our virtual riders?
Are they able to train now during the COVID?
I was biking all over the place.
Wow.
I'm in good shape.
Yeah, a lot of help.
Yeah.
But in answer to that question, I have seen near
the lead riders, obviously for you guys who ride, but for me, Howie and I lead the lead riders meeting every evening, and it just makes my day. I always feel so much support. Yeah. Yeah, nice to meet you. But we spoke on the phone earlier, and I was saying, Yalla Gonen. I mean, even if we don't need a new another lead rider.
Back.
2021, registration is open.
If not, next summer, Fear, I'll come to Vermont.
Wow.
It's only an hour.
You can't believe how hot it is here. I don't know how they bike.
It's so cold.
We had 8 of us from the Minute Mention riding in Lexington yesterday.
For the bicycle. Roy told me that he biked a lot here now. It's in general, I think bikes is way more popular in the world now. Everybody's biking.
Actually, a shortage of parts and
because
the bike stores.
And he was saying that on one hand, he's extremely busy because he has like a mobile bike repair truck. So people who are in lockdown and aren't supposed to leave their house, he can go to their houses. And on the other hand, he's in shortage of parts.
They've done well from a business standpoint, but now it's getting to a point where
well done.
You know, it's hard for them to keep getting the bikes back out for people.
I called my shop yesterday to get some shorts for Saturday before the ride this week, and they said, we have some. I said, I need large. We have one pair of large bib shorts. And I said, all right, I guess I'll be wearing them all week. It'll be just like the Israel ride. They're going to sell it this week.
I think that was what we call too much information.
Well, Marcus, we'll give you a little detergent packet on Friday so you can wash it in the hotel thing.
Thank you, Alana.
And poo can be washed in the shower. You know, that's the Israel ride way.
What I've heard from other local bike shops here is that the good news, it's like Mark said, their sales this year more than doubled. But bad news actually is a lot of the customers hate them because, or I shouldn't say hate, but are very frustrated with them because they're used to, they can have a conversation and think about a few different options, and local bike shops are really service oriented. And the new customer is not used to walking in and being told, well, if you want a bike, this is the only one we can sell you because we're otherwise sold out. Or if you want a bike, you actually have to wait 2 weeks, but you can be on a list, and whatever we have in 2 weeks, you can have. It's like, wait, I'm not used to that. So it's a mixed blessing, I think, for them.
Yeah. There's a lot of reuse also. I went to a place called in Boston called the Bike Not Bums. Familiar with that place?
Yeah.
Wow. I was like, I just stayed there all day. Looked like trucks taking different parts, and people rebuild bikes from nothing, from like old bikes. It was really inspiring.
Yeah.
An amazing shop, what they do. And they
amazing shop.
Other communities, for kids in other communities who don't have access and can't get them. It's amazing.
Yeah, I went for a bike ride with Neil. He took me there.
Yeah, he's done a lot with them. It's really cool.
I did it with a mountain bike.
You did the whole ride with a mountain bike.
Yeah.
And it really wasn't until
least of all the drivers, right? That's the toughest part.
Yeah, maybe that explains the beeping horns. Actually, I have to admit, the closest encounter I've ever had with an Israeli driver, I think it was my first year doing the ride. We're riding somewhere in the Negev, and the driver pulls up to me. He knows where the Israel ride. He's seen the signs on the truck, and he no concept of how dangerous it was that he was trying to sit next to me and have a conversation. But I think it actually said a lot. A
few minutes left, so I just want to thank everybody for joining us and just give a few updates and announcements about some upcoming programs for the rest of our afternoon. So in 10 minutes, we're actually privileged to have a really wonderful conversation with Madge, who's really connected with the Arava Institute, and she's joining us direct from Gaza to speak about her environmental work and advocacy. So that's at 3 p.m. I'll put the link in the chat here. And then later on this afternoon, there's an opportunity to learn how to make our own pickled vegetables with our Wednesday, and check your email every morning for updates about other highlights and virtual tours and programs. And just to express continued gratitude for all of you for being part of this Israel Ride community. And we're so grateful that you continue to connect with us over these different moments. And just the reminder that 2021 Ride registration is open. And thank you to those of you who have already registered, whether you rolled over from 2020 or re-registered now. And we're counting down the days to get back on the road with you next fall.
Alana, how many people are registered?
About 90. Somebody registered their whole family this morning, so it put us over 90.
Wow.
I hope they have a very big family.
Yes, yeah. And then this is a link to our next session with Madge if people are interested in joining us. And so thank you for taking a midday break or spending some of your evening here with us. And we look forward to seeing you on our next session. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks,
everybody.
Thanks so much to everyone, especially the riders.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah, special thanks to Kfir, Susie, and Gonan. Thank you for being here.
My pleasure.
Yes.
Thank you.
See you
It's
soon.
wonderful.
Enjoyed
Bye.
it.
Good to see you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.